Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube, Diggy546, and I know you all are probably still recovering from last week's game, giving up 33 points in the fourth quarter after dominating, after it seemed like our season was turning around, like we were just going to just take off, and to have it just all let down like that is just so disappointing. But we got another game against another good team that we dominated 2 weeks in a row. We should be coming off of 2 straight weeks of blowouts, including one being this team. But, just in pure Giants fashion, we cannot appreciate it the way we should be able to. But headed into this, what is it now? Week 7, week 8? I think week 8 performance, week 8 game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles coming up, and we're headed to the link. We're headed to Philadelphia, where we have not done well. The last time we won, check this out. The last time we won in Philadelphia, Michael Vick was the quarterback. He left the game, and Matt Barkley came in. So that was, I think, like 2012, something crazy, way too long ago. So we got to get a win in Philadelphia. So since Jackson Dart has become the New York Giants starting quarterback, the offense has completely transformed from what it's been the last couple of years. We're averaging over 25 points a game, which puts us top 6 in the NFL. We're averaging 156 rushing yards a game, which is third in the NFL. We're coming off of back-to-back 30-point games. We have had, Jackson Dart come in, and he has 7 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 of which, I think he threw those 2 interceptions against the Saints. I don't really count those because one, he was basically having to force it on a 4th down. And the other one, Bo Collins just stopped on the route. So he's played very well. And he's at 50 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. But the biggest difference in the Giants offense that Jackson Dart has made, that has just not happened in many, many years, is that the Giants offense is actually getting that off to fast starts. So we're averaging 7.3 points per first quarter, which is top 3 in the NFL, which means we're routinely scoring. He scored on the first drive the first 3 games. This past game, I think he scored maybe twice in the first quarter, or once in the first quarter, once in the second quarter. But this is compared to 2023 to 2024. The Giants averaged 2.2 and 2.4 yards, 2.2 and 2.4 points per first quarter, which is bottom 5. So that just shows off the bat we're starting much faster, and therefore these games are just becoming a lot more competitive. So the Eagles are coming in this game. First off, they're coming in this game a bit healthier, and I'll get into that. But they also are coming into this game knowing some of the things they have to stop. They know that they cannot let the tight ends take over the game as far as making crucial catches. They know their number one goal in this game, seeing on what happened last game, is going to be stopping Cam Scatterboot, stopping us from being able to establish the run. And we just got to just keep at it, because they can lock in and try to stop the run all they want. But if we, lock in on our side, and it's still our number one goal to go in there and run the football, and Cam Scatterboot runs the same way he did it a couple of weeks ago, they're going to have some of the same issues, even with Jalen Carter in this lineup. They're also going to have to worry about some big plays, because the Giants offense right now is 3rd in touchdowns of 20 plus yards. Now we've got 8 total. Russell Wilson has, I think, a good amount of them. Maybe like 3 or 4, but nonetheless, both Giants quarterbacks have been able to produce explosive plays. We had the Tracy touchdown run that was over 20 yards last week. So both, no matter who's in it, we're making explosive plays for touchdowns, and the Eagles are going to have to stop that, because if not, they're going to end up behind again, and it's going to be difficult for them to come back. Now, what does make things different, the biggest difference is by far in this game, is that Jalen Carter's coming back and Quinyon Mitchell's coming back. So because of that, they are the 2 best defenders on the Eagles defense. They just are. And then also we're losing Adebo and we're losing Holland. So Adebo has not been the best this year, but he's also been pretty solid. And he's much better than Deonte Banks. So he's not just a sieve over there. He's had a couple of nice breakups. Hasn't been as dominant and, as playmaking as you want him to be, but he's been a solid cornerback, and Cordell Flott has been really good across from him. But him being out is definitely going to affect this game because, first off, he's probably not going to be jumping inside like Deonte Banks does on every outside run that just makes us end up giving up really long runs. And then Newman's behind him, and he can't fit a run to save his life. So that's going to really be affected in the run game to the edges. And then you got him every one-on-one situation, the ball is going to go towards Deonte Banks in the air, and they're going to dare him to break up the pass. And 9 times out of 10, he's not going to get a hand on the ball. He's not going to break up the pass or disturb the receiver at all. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to check for. And then we're missing Holland. Now, Belton did a good job when he came in some limited snaps for Jevon Holland. But at the same time, that was limited snaps. Belton is still a core special teamer. So how are we going to divvy these snaps up? Is he going to still play most of the snaps? Or is he going to get off of special teams? So we'll see. And, he's not Jevon Holland. I don't think Holland is like an all-pro or even Pro Bowl safety the way he's playing this year. But he is a good starting safety. Of course, has command of the team, communicates, gets guys lined up the right way. And we heard that Belton did more of the same. So hopefully he can come in and not be that bad of a drop-off with Holland being out. But those two, when they went out yesterday, the Giants defense went on to surrender 33 points in a quarter. So we can't ignore that. We can't ignore that. And the Eagles aren't going to ignore that. So those two players are going to be missed. Now, Quinyon Mitchell, you want to hear it. 38 targets this year, 1 touchdown allowed, 52% catch percentage, 79 passer rating, and he has a ton of pass breakups, and he's always in tight coverage. So he doesn't have that game-breaking interception and turnover stuff. But for the most part, he's been pretty sticky in coverage this year. And again, he's their number one corner, and he's not Kelly Ringo. He's not Adoree Jackson. He's an actual NFL corner, and he's a very good one. I was going to say Lorenzo. Jalen Carter, 5 games this year. In 5 games, he's had 13 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and he has not been, the normal game record that he is, but he's still Jalen Carter. Just like you're not going to be surprised if Dex goes out there and gets 2-3 sacks. You're not going to be surprised if Jalen Carter does it. When he's on, he's unblockable, and he's very good against the run. So are we going to be able to run the ball the same way with Cam Scatterboo? We'll have to find that out. So I'm expecting the Eagles to come out very aggressive. They're very prideful. They really look at us like the little brother in the division because they beat us over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I don't expect that to feel like like it's changed. So I expect them to come out firing, and I expect them to feel like they can come out and walk all over us. So I expect the Eagles to come out pretty early and either try to establish the run with Saquon Barkley, like how they did at the beginning of the last game where they had a couple of big runs to start things off, and then we kind of tightened up. They're either going to come out and try to do that, and if they can, you're going to see a play action and a shot to whoever Deonte Banks is on, and that's how they'll probably try to quick start, get things started. I really see them just trying to either establish the run, get really physical with us, or just, attack Deonte Banks, attack him over and over again, just like we attacked Ringo. And then when Quinyon Mitchell went out, we attacked Ringo and Adoree. So I expect them to be very aggressive, targeting Deonte Banks until we either have to bench him or he makes some plays. And it's just that simple. So hopefully we don't go too much cover 3. Hopefully we don't go too much man. But the Giants have played a bunch of man, and they like Deonte Banks in man coverage, and it's probably his best coverage. But again, he cannot play the ball, and he's going against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, which is a problem. And A.J. Brown's coming off a 100-yard game. Jalen Hurts had a perfect quarterback rating last week. So Hurts is a very, very good quarterback. People love to say that Hurts stinks and he's not a good quarterback because he has a good team around him. He's a very good quarterback. If we do not apply the same level of pressure with our pass rushers and run the ball the way we did last time and play the type of defense that we did last time, this team will do to us what we did to them 2 weeks ago. This is the Super Bowl winning team. They just won the Super Bowl a couple months ago. So do not come in this game expecting that, oh, it's just going to be easy like last time. It's not. We very well could blow them out again. We very well could. But at the same time, you never know what's going to happen. I'm not going to be surprised by whatever the outcome. Whether we blow them out, they blow us out. It's a close game. It's a low scoring game. It's a high scoring game. I'm not going to be surprised because this is a very good team, and I believe we can play their game with them. And I think at the end of the day, both teams are going to attack this game very similarly, which means both teams are going to try to establish the run. Saquon has not been able to get the run going. The Giants have been able to get the run going for the most part until last week, but I expect that they will try to get back to that because they're not going against that Broncos defense. I expect they'll try to get the run going. I expect they'll take some deep shots, especially with Slayton possibly coming back this week, with Hyatt, getting behind the defense last week. I expect they'll take some deep shots there. I expect they'll try to, throw some jump balls to the tight ends. So I expect them to be aggressive in spots, and I expect the exact same game plan from the Eagles. And I expect the Eagles to get a little bit more aggressive. They blitzed him a bunch a couple of weeks ago, and he just ate the blitz alive. Jackson Dart did. Moved around well, took off when he needed to, and apparently Zach Bond can't touch him. Apparently Zach Bond can't touch him or Cam Scatterboo, but I expect them to try to switch things up. Vic Fangio just played this guy a couple of weeks ago, so he's going to have an entirely new game plan, and this is going to be the first time that a team is going against Jackson Dart that has already seen him before. So we'll see what his weaknesses are, and we'll see if he can overcome those weaknesses within, a couple week span. We'll see, once they take away that run, once they take away that long run that he had against Zach Bond, or once they take away, some scrambling lanes, we'll see how he reacts to this and what he does, what answers he has to the new problems that are going to come up from Vic Fangio, because again, this is a very smart defensive coordinator, and he's going to have answers for a lot of the problems that are going to pop up. And before I wrap this up, like I talked about Deonte Banks, but on the other side, let's just give some flowers to Cordell Flott. I expect him to keep playing well, no matter who he's covering. He's targeted almost 6 times a game and has a catch rate of just over 50%. So 57% catch rate, but opponents have not scored a single touchdown against Cordell Flott. And he's, for the most part, not being targeted downfield. Like, they usually don't try him downfield. His average depth of target is 8.9 yards. So they're really trying to throw the short stuff, which means usually downfield, he's doing his job. Usually downfield, he's in good coverage. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Cordell Flott. He's doing his thing. I expect him to continue to do his thing. And if we can get just one good game from Deonte Banks, I know he's got it in him. The guy can cover. We just saw him covering 2 years ago. We're still playing man coverage. All this stuff about, he was great in the bump and run. He wasn't a good bump and run corner because he's not good at the line of scrimmage. But he can cover in man coverage. I just need one good game from Deonte Banks just to get a little bit of confidence back. If he can have a solid game across from Cordell Flott, and he can just not jump inside on these outside runs, we can do exactly what we did a couple of weeks ago, and we have the potential to shut this Eagles offense down. We need Deonte Banks to show up with his head on his shoulders. He just had twins a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations. But he has got to play better. He's got to play better, and he's got to play smarter. So we need Deonte Banks locked in. We need him to ball out and be the player that he was, at least for us 2 years ago, because that is a solid second corner at the very least. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little context for this game coming up. As you see, Jackson Dart has really uplifted his offense. The Eagles are going to come out swinging, but I really think that this is a game the Giants can win. I'm not going to pick a blowout because you're not going to blow out a team 2 times in a row. There's no way. I'm going to say the Giants win this game 27-21 on a last-second touchdown, something last-second and dramatic. The Giants deserve a last-second win. So let's say 27-21 on a go-ahead Jackson Dart rushing touchdown for the win with 10 seconds left. Let's take that. Let's go beat the Eagles. We have not done it in forever. Let's go break the curse, folks.